morning, everyone. Happy Friday, and wishing you all a wonderful weekend ahead. I want to thank the people who come on with me personally. It's so helpful to have these little chats. So much gratitude to the people that do come on, and we join together as a community and we have a little chat, and it's so wonderful. So if you would like to be a part of that, you can join these sessions live. You can find that on my YouTube channel, or you can email me. I'll put my email. You can contact me directly to receive the link to join us live. Disclaimer: I'm not a doctor. Full disclaimer will be put on my YouTube channel. All right, we're going to hop right into it. There's a few things that I'd want to work through. One is comparing, and then the other one is rest. So I'm feeling into the world, and it feels like comparing happens at the same time as denying yourself rest. It's like comparison comes in as an afterthought, or maybe not even, kind of like a subsequent effect of denying yourself rest. And even to say that is just the strangest thing. So feels really heady. There's too many thoughts involved with rest. So you can take a minute for yourself, and you can think about what you think about resting, actually resting, not having them when you're sitting on the couch, or I don't know, sleeping even before you go to sleep, or those restful periods of time. Are you actually at rest? Are you calm? Is your body relaxed? Are your eyes relaxed? Are you out of your head? Are the thoughts racing continuously? Oh, of all of the next things that you need to get to. Are you actually in this restful state? I'm seeing here that it's really, so all you can think for yourself what your attitudes towards rest are. And that's actually impeding the nervous system's ability to go into the parasympathetic. I've never seen that before. It's this constant bombardment of forcefulness, being pushy with yourself, and high stress hormones. So the adrenals are working on overtime to start pumping out those stress responses. And it's actually impacting the amygdala function of the brain. Ooh, I am really dizzy doing this. So if you're feeling dizzy or lightheaded, please make sure your sits bones are nicely firm or comfortable on your seat. Whew. There's a burp coming up already. There's some shifting happening. So it's like the thoughts about rest, or who you are when you rest. Resting means I'm lazy. Resting means I'm unproductive. Resting means I'm bad, or resting means useless is coming up. Woof, I'm useless when I rest. And that forceful pushiness is coming through, and it's impacting the parasympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system ability to go into that alpha state where healing takes place. So when when practitioners say, when you're not feeling well, lots of fluid, lots of rest, lots of good food, so whole foods. But rest is their top. You don't do anything, you just sleep, you just rest. And in come animals, as an example. When an animal is not well, they rest, they don't do anything. The birds are not flying around. When my cats or my dog is not feeling well, they're not hopping around the house. They go find a quiet corner where they could be undisturbed, and they rest. If you watch wildlife movies, when the animal gets hurt, like undersea, I don't know why this is coming up really very clearly for me, but an octopus, they get hurt. One of their arms gets taken off by a shark. It does happen. And they find things, shells to protect them, make an armor. They go into a little cave and they don't even eat. They just rest because the body knows what to do. The body recuperates during those parasympathetic nervous system waves of going into alpha, and rest can take place. But even if you're lying down, you receive gorgeous sessions, you're on this work, you're doing this work, maybe you're getting massages, maybe you're working with other practitioners, and you're not resting, then you're not healing fully. It's like it only hits the surface. And what's impeding this restful state is all of the thoughts that you have about who you are when you rest. So we need to drain those out of the nervous system, out of the amygdala complexes, out of the adrenals, out of the kidneys, is always working. So even when you're not working, if you're sitting there and you're beating yourself up while you're sitting there, thinking you should be doing something else, thinking you need to get to those dishes, thinking whatever project you need to get to, or whatever deadline, or you're thinking about how busy your weekend's going to be, let's say with driving children around, you're not actually resting. Whoa. And this constant forcing, it drains the energy, that the chi from your kidneys and your adrenals. And so I'm just seeing the kidneys as like a spaghetti strainer, like a sieve, like a colander. In comes the energy, the chi, that is replenished daily through food, through gentle exercise, through taking in sun, by taking in water, and also nurturing relationships. That's how you replenish your daily chi. So that comes in and it goes out soon as you start thinking about all of those things that you should be doing and how lazy you are, and start to brutalize yourself with thoughts. We got to drain all of this out. We're going to run actually, this is any kind of derogatory thinking about yourself, which is not actually the proper mechanism of the intellect. It's not actually using the intellect well. It's following your thoughts to abuse yourself and manipulate yourself, and then somehow try to change what is happening. If your body is calling for rest, then you need to listen to that. That's your innate wisdom speaking to you. And so it's that energy pushes and forces you. We're dumping this out of the brain, out of all of the myelin sheath of the nervous system. We're going to do a repair to the parasympathetic nervous system. It feels absolutely worn, thin and crispy, as it's been pushed around so long. It's just exhausted. And then that sympathetic nervous system, which is really just, it's used for emergency situations. That it's just, no, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. So I'm going to back up. But the sympathetic nervous system feels also very crispy, but inflamed, really, really inflamed. And as I'm doing that, I'm getting a sharp pain through the left side of my back. And we're going to do a switching technique to bring the nervous system back into homeostasis, back into rest mode. There's no emergency. There's no urgency. There's no urgency. You can rest all day. And whatever you do, whether that be doing the dishes, you can be in a restful state. There, it's starting to relax. Whether you're at work, you can do so in a restful state. There's no emergency. The files that need to be filed will be filed. Take a nice deep breath. The dishes that need to be tended to will eventually be tended to. There's no urgency. Running a repair to. So the adrenals and the amygdalas are overinflamed and overworking. So we're going to run a Seedry to the adrenals, running a Seedry to the amygdala complexes. We need to do a correction on the way that they communicate with each other. So I'm going to run a correction repair on the link. So the way they communicate, the adrenals communicate to each other, that kind of wire is a little bit fuzzy. So we're going to clean up that wire so they're talking to each other really well. We're going to do the same thing with the amygdalas. And you can see right now, I have my voice is slowed down. I'm feeling really nice and relaxed. My arms have softened. I can breathe. I can actually start to feel my gut. So we're going into now, we're going to do a repair to the containers of chi, which is the kidneys. We're going to give them some TLC. They've been forced and beaten up a lot. They've been pushed and pushed and pushed, and they are tired, which exasperates fearful thinking. Ooh, there. So kidneys have to do with fear, the healthy component or the healthy emotion of fear. But they're so tired. They're fearful of everything. It's like, oh God, oh God, the dishes aren't done. They're going to start pushing me again. They're going to force me again. And I'm just so tired and I need to rest. So we're going to drain unhealthy fear out of the kidneys and that pushiness out of them. And there's I could see energetic holes, like a noodle strainer or colander. We're going to fill the kidneys with Reiki. Oh, as I do that, that feels so good. So the whole of the kidney, in all of its entirety, and then to let that Reiki spill down through the ureters and the urethra, down through the bladder, just to let Reiki spill over and relax and repair. There we go. There's a nice shift. That Reiki will run for the next 72 hours. Plug that in as a little a plug-in here to the session. That Reiki will continue to run through the kidneys, down through the ureters, down to the bladder as well. And it'll do its job, whatever it needs to do, whatever it needs to clean up. Now we're going into the gut. So we're in the small intestine, specifically into the gut brain. There's it's like a mind crystal sitting in there. There's a weirdness that my thoughts are mistaken for thinking. And then that's what I call my intuition. No. I've never seen that before. That's really cool. Thoughts are mistaken for thinking. And those thoughts are then mistaken for intuition. And then you say, I'm so intuitive. Ha, ha, ha. So we are going to unwind this thought crystal, this mind crystal, out of the gut brain so that your intuition actually can rise. And then if you want to figure out what is actually intuition versus thought, then you can look that up. We can do, or we can contact me and we can work privately together and I can help you through that. But we're just doing an unwinding. I'm going to tap cortices to the gut brain and actually to the small intestines as well to help the differentiation between thinking, the actual function of thinking, versus following thoughts and intuition. It's all muddled. And that's going to run on repeat as well for the next 70. No, it's going to run on repeat until we meet each other again next Friday. Yeah, end of session. All right, we're done. No, there's a little bit. So this is going to be linked up into the diaphragm. We need to get some more air into this body. It feels like the breath is stopped at There's three places that it's really held in the head, the throat, and that diaphragm, that solar plexus. So the solar plexus chakra is coming up here. It needs some support. It needs some life. The lower extremities of our body also need to be properly oxygenated, but there feels like there's stagnation within that diaphragm. So experiences, thoughts, thinking, and pushing it, the energy of pushing us, forcing yourself. And I must as a sentence. I must, I must, I must, I must. And it's blocking the diaphragm's ability to breathe in more life, to take in breath. It's like, oh, I couldn't possibly handle more, and my plate's already full. And we need to dump that toxicity out of the diaphragm. And we're going right down into the cells. We're going to replenish the cells right down to the mitochondria. They need some air, they need some oxygen, and there's some oxidative stress happening within this diaphragm. So we're going to bring in, I'm going to neutralize that oxidative stress. We're going to bring in oxygen. Oh, that feels really good. And also easy water and hydrogen peroxide, your body's ability to create its own hydrogen peroxide. We're going to clean out that diaphragm and then also do a biogenic dumping of all 5 natural emotions and any kind of, in any way they've gone pathological. So all unhealthy emotions out of the diaphragm, linking that to the small intestines for synthesis and release. And then we're going to do a breathing. We need to blink in all of the 7 diaphragms to get them on sync to be able to be in sync while breathing. So all areas are receiving oxygen, all the extremities, all of the organs, all of your systems. All right, there we go. Tapping this in. And that is all for today's session. If you'd like to join me live, please reach out and I will get you that. I'll get that Zoom link to you. If you'd like to work privately, please go ahead and reach out. And if you're curious about the difference between thoughts, thinking, and intuition, I'd be happy to work that through with you. Please reach out and we can go ahead and book you a session. Thank you so much for being here with me and enjoy your weekend.